Welcome to Eden Healing, where we have conversations that promote healing, true identity, and Genesis 2 and 25, becoming naked and unashamed so that we are living as the Most High intended. In this episode, we will be discussing speaking up for self and not rolling into victimhood. To get started, I want to welcome our guests. Hello, George. Thank you for joining us.
Thank
And I
you.
do have, oh, you're so welcome, so welcome. I do have some information that I wanted to share with you all about George. So, George Croom is a husband, a father, community leader, and founder of SoloMesh, the parent company behind Smart AI Employee and For Lifey. He served 10 years in federal government and military service, including as a captain in the Army National Guard. Thank you for your service.
Thank you. Thank you.
Um, he has run for United States Congress, leads a growing operational technology company based in Baltimore and Los Angeles, and is currently writing a book he will publish when the story is ready. So y'all need to be on the lookout for that. So jumping right in, Mr. Croom, why did you pick today's topic? How did it resonate with you?
So when you presented, thank you, by the way, for
Mhm,
having
you're
me. This is
welcome.
um like I told you when we weren't recording. It,
Mhm.
it's wonderful to be on with you because you're one of my favorite people. Even though
Thank you.
we we only talk through Facebook, and I don't see you on the sporadic times that I come down south. Um, but we will fix that. We will get better at that. We get
Yes,
too old to not
yes,
see each other.
yes.
uh, but this topic spoke to me because I was raised on it. This is kind of just how my life was. I grew up in a military household. My dad was military, and even though he wasn't, um, I'm glad
Sorry
it wasn't.
about that.
I'm so glad it wasn't me. I'm just look.
So
I looked
sorry.
over. I was like, okay, cool. We're still on do not disturb.
Look, technology is I'm sorry for interrupting. I'm still learning Apple, so it's like, yeah, I apologize for
It's
that.
funny. No, do you? I love it. And look, at least somebody wants you. Look, somebody out here looking for you. I love it. Don't run from that. Some people
Amen.
ain't getting
Amen.
calls. um, but no, like it spoke to me because like I said, I was raised on it, and my mom especially because she was a single mother, and the way she grew up in the Jim Crow South. Um, she you know raised on the plantation that our family had probably been working on, for centuries.
Wow.
Um, and she left at 13 because she had too much of a voice. My grandma actually told her she was the youngest. At that point, my uncle was born 3 years after she was, but my grandmother had my mom when she was 42, had my uncle when she was 47. At 13, she got sent from South Carolina up to DC because my grandmother said, "You got too much of a mouth. You're going to get hung out here." Like, she was like, "You don't know how to sit down and just take it." And she was like, "Dude, why would I do that? Like, what world do we live in where I have to like accept, this?" Goes to DC, is in school, drops out of school because the teacher she had couldn't keep his hands to himself, with her and the other girls in school. Goes and gets her GED. Through that, gets into a program for the federal government, and then ends up working 35 years in the federal government, retiring with a paycheck every month that I look at. I'm like, you have money. You don't have to, just,
Right.
ma'am. As much stuff come in this house for this baby of mine. Now you are fine.
Yeah.
um, but it was always because she didn't fall into that trap of being a victim, and I think she passed that on because she said to me, she was like, you're a boy. I don't know how to teach a boy. I can't teach you how to be a man, but I can teach you right from wrong, and hopefully you can fill in the gaps. So I've
Yeah.
been filling in the gaps my whole life. you know and I'm
Wow.
glad she gave me the space to do so. um,
Mhm.
but yeah, I mean, this spoke to me for that reason, and I'm in that season with my kid too. Um,
Yeah.
so it's a topic that a lot of people don't actually delve into because it's
Mhm,
difficult. It's
mhm,
hard to speak up for yourself, and I think that it's okay to be okay with saying who you are,
mhm.
what you expect from the world around you. Um,
Yeah.
it being humble doesn't mean being lost or being forgotten. Um,
Mm.
you know, there's nothing humble about diminishing yourself so that everybody else can be comfortable.
Mhm. Right,
So,
right.
and so I think this is an important topic. Yeah, so that's why it spoke to me.
Mhm. Amen. Look, you said a mouthful, like, but no, that's a good thing. So, the previous episode, we were, actually speaking about, like, where certain things come from. So it's interesting that even in this topic, you were speaking about you learned not to be a victim from childhood. It's like, of course, most things it comes from how were you raised, what was the environment, and it's like it's it sounds like your mom didn't have a choice to be a victim, if I'm hearing that
Right.
correctly. It
Right.
was like do or die type thing.
I mean, she did though. Like everybody has a choice. We see people all the
Well,
time that have
yeah,
that choice not to be something, and they succumb to that because, and it's not because it's easier. It's because life is hard. Like, and I
yeah,
get it. Life is
yeah.
genuinely life is not a simple path. Sometimes it's definitely not a straight line.
Mhm,
Um, and the only thing that keeps you on, you know, a path is your ability to say I won't accept this life. And you're allowed to do that. Especially, this faith-based show, so I can say this,
mhm.
I've always believed that you can't tell me that I've been taught my whole life that I'm a walk on streets of gold and through pearly gates, and I'm supposed to be broke and quiet here.
Right.
How
That
does
don't
that make sense to me? Like, and how can I build a kingdom when I'm one of the people who needs building up myself? Like, so like
right,
with my
yeah,
business, like I don't believe in us taking small shots at where we're going. I believe in us taking big swings to go after
mhm,
the things that are available out there because A, I only get one shot. I
mhm.
could B, not be here tomorrow, and C, I want to walk into the pearly gates like, oh, I done seen this before. I know what this like.
I
Like
know,
I
yes,
want to enjoy that experience. I don't want it to be new for me. I don't want to spend my first couple of days in heaven being acclimated to wealth. you know,
right, 'cause it does say we get a mansion, right?
I'm
Like
trying to hit the ground running. Man, we in heaven now. The wealth just
like
got
show
different.
everybody else how to do it, yeah.
And I genuinely want that for everybody around me. I think that's
Mm,
important, and I don't think we do enough of building people up and empowering people to believe that that's okay.
mm,
A lot of people have been told that that's not okay. It's not okay to feel those things and to be those things, and I think it is. I think we need more of that. I think if we had more of that, we would have a different, country, world,
mhm,
because we truly wouldn't take it. We truly wouldn't accept the things that and I believe we're going to get there. I hope our my children, my one child that I can get to
mhm,
adulthood. um, I can get one to adulthood. That's all I got,
mhm.
Lord. I can get you one. um,
Yeah,
uh, but I hope he sees that, that this world is available, and he is empowered to be that. And that
mhm,
comes from, yeah, like you said,
mhm.
having that voice. And I think, yeah, my mom gave that to me, you know.
Yeah, yeah, and it sounds like the success, like, that your mom went through, being able to overcome those things, not playing victim, and then the short bio that I read, you have a lot of success. Would you say that it's impossible to be successful if you play victim? What are your thoughts on that? Can a person be successful and be a victim at the same time?
You can be successful and be a victim. You cannot be fulfilled. Like,
Mhm.
there's
Explain that.
definitely a play there. There's a play there.
Mhm.
There's absolutely um, I can take this to sports, right?
Mhm.
Um, NBA is on right now, finals are on right now, and there's a lot of talk about people who flop when they're hit. They fall all over the place. They fall on, they fly across
Yeah.
the court. Like you weren't fouled that hard, so
Oh, like they're
but you
putting
were right.
on.
Yeah, then you got to put a little extra, so the ref will call the foul. Well, you might get rewarded for that, but in the
Mhm.
end of your career, when you look back and you see videos of yourself falling all over the floor, like, are you happy with the result from that? If you are, that's cool.
Mm.
But for me, I don't want to look back and see that I flopped my way through life, that I failed up,
Mm.
so to speak.
Right. Yeah.
I want to, as much as I can, and I'm still a growing person every day I grow. Um,
Mhm.
I want to make sure that you know when I'm doing something, it's intentional. That I'm going after something. Wake up on something. And that's why I tell my kid, wake up about something. Like, like
Mm.
don't get up out this room moving slow,
Mhm.
because the
Mhm.
world's not moving slow. And you end up getting passed up, and the world just leaves you behind. And yes, there's sometimes to be slower and intentional about how you're moving,
Mhm.
but make sure that your mind is keeping up with what's going on. And I think for him, especially for my kid, his body and his mind are the same thing right now. He hasn't figured out how to separate those things.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
like I tell him, go wash your hands. He walks around the corner, and whatever his brain sees, his body is into that now. Washing hands has left the building, and I tell him, man, you
Yeah.
you're out. And I tell him, I said, you cannot control your thoughts. You
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah.
But people cannot control, but we can absolutely control our actions. And so that's
Mm.
what I try to impart on him is like control your actions when you get
Mm.
up every day.
Yeah.
And I think that's just part of
I
it.
love that. I love that. So, why do you think people wallow in victimhood? Because like you said, your mom had a choice, you have a choice. What about those people who have had things happen or have been dealt a bad hand, and they're choosing to still roll in victimhood? Why is that?
I think we don't know what we don't know. And if you grew up in a household, I mean, take for instance, and this is the politician in me speaking now.
Okay.
I mean, take for instance a household where I moved here to Baltimore from Detroit. The average
Mhm.
household in Detroit at the time that I left, with two working parents, was making $27,000 a year. A year. You know what I'm saying? So like
Wow.
when you grow up in a household with two people who break themselves to go to work to put food on the table and can't actually sustain that,
Mhm.
when the people in your family that you're around all the time, that's what their lives are like. And then and and they're not there to teach you anything different. They just wake up and keep going through it. And,
Mhm.
and while that may not be a victim response, they don't know how to get out of that space. That is their space. That is their identity. This
Mm.
this this place of being lost, because I have never seen anybody do that. It's like I tell my brother all the time. My brother's been very successful. Um, we both do real estate and other things together. Um,
Mm. Awesome.
he has a hard time recognizing. He's like, I just don't understand why people can't do X, or why they don't just do this. And I say, you have to recognize that you are the exception. You are not the
Mm.
rule. So me and him, yeah, we grew up with nothing. We ate ramen noodles and thought we were having, caviar and steak. We had no clue. That was
Yeah.
it for us. We didn't know we didn't have money. We just knew that where we were, we didn't want to be. And
Mm.
we believed, I still believe, like I was the kid who believed when they said you can be anything. Fantastic. That's why when you look at my life, I on paper I look unreal because I've done it
Yeah.
all.
Yeah.
I've worked at ESPN. I've been a flight attendant. I sold puppies at Petland at one point. Like I've
Mm.
done it all. Like I've
Yeah.
done all of it. I've touched all
Mhm.
of it. And that's just because I didn't fall into the belief that it wasn't available to me. I think
Mhm.
that's what it is. We just don't. Most people don't have enough information. They don't have the right information to know that that is available to you, and you can hear it. Somebody can tell you it's available, but if you still don't see it, if you don't have access to that, everybody can't cross that by themselves. They need to be, you know, sometimes
Mhm.
you gotta hold a person's hand across that. And that's why I get so
Yeah.
frustrated with my friends who have made it. Like
Mhm.
situations like that where you say, "Hey, can you come on?" Absolutely, because this is a part of me sending the elevator back down. Like I can't get up to the penthouse and leave the elevator up here and people gotta walk up the stairs, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And looking at them like, man, why you ain't here? Because this a lot of steps.
Yeah.
Like
That is a
you
good
could have sent the
analogy.
elevator back down for them. Like send them elevator, like, help them get a few floors up so they ain't gotta walk some. You still gonna have to walk some steps. We all do. The elevator's gonna break down on your way up a lot. The
Yeah.
elevator might fall a few floors. But unless that thing hit the floor and break with you in it, and you go down with the elevator, you can
Mhm.
still get back up and either
Yeah.
find another elevator or start walking up these steps. Most people don't have that. They need somebody to tell them that that's okay. They need that permission. And I don't. I've
Mm.
gotten to the point in life where I don't disparage people for needing that permission because
Mhm.
we live in a world that has taught you to ask for that permission and only act if you're given that permission.
Mm.
I just buck the rules in that aspect. That's not how.
Mhm.
Yeah, I didn't grow up in a household like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think this whole thing of, like, victimhood, again, it's a matter of where you began, like, as a child, like, how you grew up, like, the examples you saw, and I love what you said, where you show people or you allow people to see you, like, you give them permission, like, you don't have to stay there. Um, and I think that's why community is so important when it comes to victimhood or, because, I mean, like,
The
there's
right community,
different.
though.
Say it again.
The right community.
Right, yes, 'cause that's a good point, because if it's the wrong community, some people in that wrong community can help enable you to stay victim
And I
because
should say that too. Like it's the right community at the right time because I don't believe there is
yes,
a wrong
yes,
community. I believe there is wrong communities when you are not in the right place to be a part of an active participant or a leader in that community. But if you're ready for that community, you're
yeah.
okay. It's just
There's
like
no wrong
relationships.
community, like,
No,
every community is great.
absolutely. I don't believe because I don't believe that people are inherently bad people. I believe that people
Okay,
have different circumstances, have different perspective. Like me and you could be at a museum and be looking at the same sculpture, but be seeing the same, a totally different thing. And
that's
that's
true.
really what it is, right? Like that's what life is. If you really think about it, like we're all walking around looking at the same picture, but we're
Mhm,
seeing it from different angles. But
right.
most of the time, we don't stop to say, "Hey, what do you see?" Because we just assume that you see what
Mhm,
I see, and when you don't see what I see, we either write that off as that's wrong,
mhm,
and
mhm,
we never seek what your right is, and that's where things break. And that's what I'm not good at it by any means. I'm still getting better at that, especially like marriage
mhm,
taught me that, marriage, fatherhood, like that. All of that has taught me
yeah,
to really stop and like say, hey, how are you showing up in this situation first and foremost, and like what do
mhm,
you need to learn, because if I haven't learned anything about my own perspective, I
mhm,
certainly can't grasp your perspective.
right.
But that's the
Wow,
thing, we're all looking at the same thing differently, but none of us have stopped to say, hey, what do you see?
let
And I
me
think
write
that's
it
important.
down. Hey, what do you see? Let me get a pen that works, 1 second. But no, I that blessed me. That really blessed me because me and the Faith sister were talking the other day about, um, like, being Pharisees, how we've come out of being Pharisees, where when we went into the truth, where we were keeping Torah and New Testament, it was like we saw other people doing wrong or doing things outside of what we thought was right. And we're like, "You're going to hell, you're going to," like, not really, but it
But it
came
gets
off that
yeah,
way.
yeah, it comes off that
Yeah,
way.
yeah. And over the years, it's like we've learned, like, okay, the word says this, you're living this way, but just because someone else lives a different way, the what you just said, like, hey, how do you see this? That is like living out the greatest commandment. Love your neighbor as you love love God and love your neighbor as you love yourself. It's like giving them space to explain what they see, to explain what they feel, because again, they're seeing it from a different vantage point. And
Mhm.
I, like everything you're saying is just like bomb. Like I love this
Because I
so.
mean, if you really think about it, right? Like, and like, it really sparks something when you said it. Like, we tend to memorize our testimony, and
Ooh,
we start forgetting the actual testimony.
yeah,
We stop learning from our own testimony, and we just start reciting it. And you forget
that's
what you
true. Yeah.
actually came through. Like, you just sitting on top of the hill
Mhm.
now. You done learned everything. You've learned everything, but you forget the lesson. So you just out here, and that's where people say you
Wow.
sound preachy. It's like, no, you just forgot your own testimony. You memorized it. It's great. Like, you
Yeah.
memorized it. But if I ask you a piece of this out of order, you can't place it and tell me where
Mhm.
you are within it. It's like a kid who knows ABCs if they sing the song, and the moment you take the song out of it, they can't tell you that, C come
Right.
before D. They don't know how to tell you. They have memorized it,
Mm.
but they don't.
Mhm.
They've stopped learning from it. They can't
Yeah.
recall it, and I think that's what we have to do sometimes. Just
Wow.
slow down and actually remember, and like
Mhm.
take time to sit in our own testimony before we go out here and think we have
Mhm.
arrived. Like, none of us have arrived. Like, the
Mhm.
moment I arrive, take me away from here. Like, the
Yeah.
moment I have it all figured out, I don't need to be here anymore. But as long as I'm here, I need to be learning and open to the
Mhm.
fact that I don't have it all together. And even what I have learned, I need to continue remembering that and learning from that,
Mhm.
or else it's not helpful to myself, it's not helpful to the people around me, and it won't help anything around me grow.
Right. And it's like what you were saying about memorizing the testimony. It sounds different, like the voice inflection, it sounds different. There's no emotion in it. And I remember.
We've all seen them.
Right, right. It's like, what is this your story, or are you reading from somebody else's bio?
We have all seen them. Like she said this last week, and I heard this already. I know I heard this, but okay, go ahead.
I guess for some people, it's like, look, this is the easiest way to get it out there. Um,
Mhm.
but I really love that because even for me, like my content, besides the goofy stuff and all the random stuff, like I'm so transparent when it comes to my the things that I'm thinking.
Mhm.
I never want to memorize it uh, because I don't want to sound like, and I'm not picking on churches, but you know how those sayings that like it's a repetitive every Sunday they say it. And I used to, well, I mentioned it to a few pastors before, like, doesn't it take away the Holy Spirit or take away what you're saying, what it actually means? Because you know it by heart. Like they know it by heart. Like, what is it, the Apostles' Creed or the different things? It's like, do you feel what you're saying? You know what I'm saying? Or is it memorized?
Or do you believe it?
Right.
Like, and especially with churches, like I've hit the point, and I think in my own faith journey, I had to realize that there was a lot of things that like I just took because they taught me that, because it
Yeah.
said it, and I didn't give myself permission to ask questions. Like,
Mhm.
I had always been beaten to submission that the moment you question anything, you don't love Jesus,
Yes.
and
Yes.
I'm no, like, because I am a child in this.
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
like, I don't know what I don't know. And if it
Right.
don't look right, it don't feel right. Well, you put me in this human body. I need to reconcile this from where I come from before I
Mhm.
can ever hope to get to that place. And one day I hope to sit down and have that conversation. But like, why would you put us down here like this? That was an
Listen,
experiment.
let me get my notebook of questions out here.
It's like what were
Oh,
you what did we do to make us have to go through that? Like, what was
mhm,
the purpose? Like, but I think that's a part of it. It's just understanding that yeah, there's that piece where you must sit down and not just yeah, memorize and speak it, but you have to actually internalize that
yeah,
perspective that you come from and recognize that it's flawed.
mhm,
Like it's
mhm,
it's it's colored by how you have coped with
mhm,
life and not necessarily a lot of times how you have dealt with life.
right,
Um, and
right,
so that comes into it too. And I think and so like and it's hard. So right, we're talking about victimhood, but some of it I don't feel like it's necessarily people like if you ask most people, they're not victims.
mhm,
They just display victim type behavior. And I just feel like I feel like that's because they don't know what they don't know and they're trying to make sense of the world around them and there's nobody to help them unpack that.
yeah, yeah. So, how long can a person see? It's funny because I asked the same question with the other episode, like, about self-love, like, how long can you be sad before you get up and do something about it? Like, in your opinion, is there a right and well,
You
like,
mean like a time frame? Like what is your time to get over it?
yeah, and not play victim anymore? Like, how long can a person play victim? Like, "Oh, man, this happened to me. Oh, da, da, da," how long?
I don't know if there's a time frame on the how long does that last.
Mhm.
What I've always said is we all have baggage, but but are the bags? Are you dragging these bags? Or are you carrying them?
Mm,
You know what I'm saying? Like,
deep.
are these bags weighing you down, or are you picking them up and owning the fact that they're your bags? We all come with some bags.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people drag their bags and they say that thing is because it gets heavy. But
Mhm.
the only way you can actually get up and move is to pick that thing up and go and realize that them are your bags. You're gonna
Yeah,
come into every situation with those bags, no matter how healed you are. Those are
mm,
still your bags because there was nowhere to drop that bag off.
right,
That
right.
bag comes with you, like that's a part of you now.
Mhm,
Um, and so yeah, I think that's a part of it.
mhm. Okay.
So
Uh,
I don't put a time frame on it for that. Like I tell
yeah.
my kid, like he's at the point now in his life. So he's a very strong minded child,
Mhm.
but
Good.
he has these moments that he will speak his mind in the wrong time, and I realize that if I raise my voice a little bit, he'll shut down. And I've started looking at him, and I say to him, "You're not allowed to shut down in this conversation. Like you're
Mhm.
still allowed to have a. I would rather you fight me with your voice open than for your head to be down. That you
Yeah,
can't do. I would rather deal with a person who I have to teach to speak respectfully while they're having their voice than a person who
mhm.
has lost it. Because once you lose your voice, it is hard to get that back.
Telling
so
you.
so there's
Yes.
times when I'll be sitting there and I'll be saying something to him and I'll ask him a question. Of course, he's in his feelings, so he's got his head down, and I will
Yeah.
literally look at him like, "Hello, I'm talking to you. Can you say something?" And then he'll try to talk, and I keep talking, like, "Oh, because I'm talking, you don't have a voice now. You can't hear your own voice over." And then he'll slowly start to yell it, and I'm like, and then
Yeah.
he'll finally be like, "I'm just trying to use the bathroom." Okay, cool. Go use the bathroom then, and I'll turn around and walk off.
But that's
Because at
good
the end of the day, like,
practice.
because yes, we're gonna have hard conversations. We're gonna have moments where dad is telling you to do something. You can't lose yourself in that because I
Mhm,
need you. Because one day you're gonna get old enough where your brain can actually process, and I
mhm.
need you to tell me no, that's wrong, and for me to trust that you have an actual conviction about that being wrong, and you can move on it, and you're
Mhm.
not gonna get lost in the sauce when somebody tells you that your thoughts are wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's that permission.
Yeah. Yeah. The whole voice concept is, like, so powerful. I know, like, just in terms of, like, my life and my unmemorized testimony, um, finding my voice is like I found a voice when I found me, when I found the Most High, like, understanding who He was, um, and
When
how
was that?
when?
Mhm.
Dang, you know what? 2018. Imma say for real identity, 2018 after my whole diagnosis debacle. Um, After that, I started looking at myself and my body differently in a
Mhm.
better way, where I cherished my full health. I cherished, being able to wait and say no, when
Mm.
it comes to, like, physical intimacy, before marriage. 2018, I think, because I was so broken, I was so out of the loop of everything, out of self-love, all of that, and it was like it's almost like, if I'm not mistaken, when you break a bone, they have to break it and then pop it back together or something, am I right?
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah,
Sometimes yeah, the way that it breaks, they have to re-break it because it starts to
right,
heal immediately.
yes.
So, yeah, they gotta
So
re-break that thing.
right, and that's kinda how I feel. It was like I had to be broken back into place in order for, um, God to align me in the right way. So then it was like I'm like, "Okay, this is where the voice comes in because I'm not only going to start speaking about what has happened to me, but I wanna speak about everything else that led up to my herpes diagnosis. Like, that whole thing, it happened for a reason. Like, not I'm taking accountability, but I'm saying things led up to it. I wouldn't ever talk about it, but that prompted my eyes to open.
Mhm.
That's how my voice. Now it took 3 years, like, that's the whole thing. It took 3 years because I was living in shame, and I was like, "Oh, I can't talk about it. I can only talk about, my inner circle." But when I let that testimony go, unmemorized,
Mhm.
when
When
I
you
let
started carrying your bags and stopped dragging them,
yes, yes, I
'cause
started
that bag's still coming with you.
regardless. Yep.
That's your bag. Yeah.
Mhm. The voice brings healing, and I think it's, like the example you gave with your son, it's like we sometimes hold our head down, we speak very softly, and it's like the whole like you said, giving people permission. Don't wait for the permission to start speaking, to start saying, "I'm not going to sit in this. I'm not going to be a victim. I'm going to be a victor." And that's not to say you can't share your testimony, or if you need to write it down and memorize it at first, because sometimes it does take for people to put the pieces together, to
Mhm.
understand how they got to that point, but it's voice is everything. Voice is
Yeah.
everything. And I've forgotten we're supposed to be well, I like to get those journal prompts, so I would say, for those that are watching this episode, a journal prompt the very first thing for today's episode is, what are you a victim of? Whether you're still living in it or you have come out of it, because regardless, it's something that can help another person. What do you
Mhm.
feel you're a victim of? For those who have come out of it, write about how you came out of, um, like, recognizing, yes, you're a victim or were a victim of something, but how did you come out of it? Because we definitely were having these conversations so that, when we start sharing our stories and having the conversations, it'll give others who are down on the first floor, waiting on the elevator that George is
Mhm.
sitting down, right? To help other people to get to a place of healing. But that's a few journal prompts. And then, how are you coming out of it? Like, for those who are still in it, what questions do you have? Maybe pray and ask God, "Hey, I'm a victim of this. It's still heavy. I'm dragging my bags, and I wanna be in a space like Brother George said, I want to start carrying this. So just a few journal prompts to kind of think on.
And
Um,
allow yourself to feel that. Like allow yourself to like go through all those emotions. Allow yourself to be sad. Allow yourself to be angry. And allow yourself to act on it. Like give yourself some grace. Like, we walk around trying to show this idyllic perfect person, and I was that person for a while. Like, like I had this image that I needed to maintain.
mhm.
um I mean, you met a part of that human back in college. You
Yes.
know what I'm saying? And I was very good at maintaining that image. Like I was on point. Like I've always been on point. But then I realized that like you can be this without like losing yourself in it. Like,
Yeah.
who are you? Where's your voice at? Like,
Mhm.
it's okay to, say no, and to say no loudly,
Mhm.
and to say no publicly, or however. Um, yeah, for sure.
Um, is and I'm really loving how it's so many different pockets that we're going into, because I'm sure it will be a blessing to those who listen to the episode. Um, I want to talk about the manipulation of victimhood, what it looks like when a person who, you know, has experienced something, they rightfully are a victim of it, but what does manipulation look like? Or have you ever seen where a person tries to manipulate others with their victimhood? What does that look like?
Well, yeah, absolutely. And I think most people's interaction with victimhood is from that frame,
Mm,
because and that's why I have a hard time with, like, yes, it is victimhood. Like, we got
mhm,
to give it a name of, it is victimhood.
right. Mhm.
However, I think inside of that, really, what people are truly looking for is comfort.
Mm,
Um, because I think a lot of times people are just it's uncomfortable it's uncomfortable to see people doing well around you, and you feeling like, I should be doing well, why not me? And
mhm.
that's an okay question to ask. But when you ask that question, just make sure that in that frame, you tell yourself, if it's not happening, it's because I'm not happening, not because
Mhm.
whatever is out here. Like, my goal is to become a billionaire and be able to erase homelessness and poverty in America. That is
Mhm.
my honest to God. I wake up every day. My wife, when she met me, we met on Tinder, and 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 my profile said future U.S. senator and philanthropist. I was like, you weren't marrying a chill, normal dude. Like, you know what I'm saying? But like, I
Yeah.
and say that to people, and I still say it to people, and you realize that at a certain point, because victimhood sometimes comes up because you have been told you can't do that, or like every time you voice who you want to be. Because I can't tell you, especially with what I do, I can't tell you how many times I start talking about the vision, the things I see, and you just get
Mhm.
people like, "Oh, that's really hard." Well, well, yeah, it's hard to get out of bed every day, but I do it. So
Mhm.
hard doesn't mean we're not supposed to try for it. Just because you've never
Mhm.
seen anybody do it, doesn't mean it's not achievable. And and
Mhm.
and I can't wake up every day knowing that I see a world that that is better than the one that I'm in, and not be trying to get there. I may
Mhm.
not get there, but at least I'm gonna roll this ball up this mountain as far as I can get it,
Yes.
and there's somebody behind me to take this ball and keep rolling it.
Mhm.
But if all of us still down the mountain with all the balls, like, we ain't
Yeah.
getting nowhere. Somebody
Somebody
got to start,
started. Yeah.
you
Mhm.
know. And I
Yeah.
and that's part of it. Like, I have a yeah, like I said, we have to call it what it is. But I think that
Mhm.
people just they live in a place where they're trying to find comfort. They're so uncomfortable with like their finances. They're so uncomfortable with themselves. They're so uncomfortable with their relationships. It, it's really hard to find that place where you can tell yourself, "I have a voice. I matter." And it's not that you're trying to fall into victimhood. It's just that your frame is.
Mhm.
is only inviting of being a victim. You
Yeah.
don't have enough frame. It's reframing the world around you. It's pause. Let me walk
Mhm.
around this culture and try to see my own life from a different perspective. Like it's
Right.
important. Like this. 'Cause sometimes, like when I have arguments now, or when I have rough moments with people, I will go somewhere and I will sit down and be like, my first thing is not what did that person do. I always come back to like, who were you in that situation?
Mhm.
When I get rejected from a business deal, um, some people will look at it and say, "Oh, well, that person didn't answer my call. They think they're better than me." No, I'm not where I need to be. Where that person realizes that my phone call is important. That's not
Mhm.
on them. That's on me.
Yeah.
That's on
Yeah.
me to change my situation. It's not on that person to wake up and say, I'm going to help George today. No, George needs to help himself. And in that, you will come along. But the moment that I say it's that person's fault that, I didn't get that job because this person, no, you didn't get that job because you weren't qualified for that job, or you weren't
Right.
ready for that job, or that wasn't your job. you know, you
Mhm.
know, there is something else. So you either gonna stop here or you're gonna keep going. And that's the part, like that is all. There's no comfort in going still
Yeah.
sometimes. It's a
Mhm.
lot easier to stop and say, cool, this is my station and like this is what I get. And I think that's where people are. It's
Yeah.
just more comfortable to not try to push for something that you can't see happening.
Mhm. I, um so I'm glad I'm seeing a real life example of "Oh, so how do you see this?" Because I never thought about that as far as what you said, where it's not that they're being manipulative, they're wanting comfort,
Hmm.
where a lot of times, I might see a person, I'm like, "Oh, they're being victim again, and they're coming with this again," when in all actuality, it's their script just sounds like, "Oh, woe is me," when really, um, the underlining thing that they're saying is, "I wanna be better. I want to be better. I want to get out of the dragging my bags. I want to carry my bags." And maybe that's a prayer point for me, so thank you for that, like, my prayer point is, "Father, help me to see past victimhood, like,
Hmm.
persona." Help me see what it is they're really needing and how I can help them in that situation versus, "Oh, here they go again,"
Hmm.
'cause it can get heavy sometimes when you have people that's every time you turn around, it's something else, and it's like, "What am I supposed to do?"
Right.
Um, and my
Show up.
thing right. Yeah. My thing
Yeah.
is always, what are 2 solutions? What are 2 solutions? What are 2 things that you can and I do that with myself, like, if I have a problem I've shared this with friends. I actually got it from, like, a workshop, a professional workshop where they were teaching you how to be a manager, supervisor, and all that, and I'm like, I've been using it and sharing it with everybody. What are 2
Mhm.
solutions? Because if you sit there, you're like, "Oh, this is happening, da, 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 da," while you're crying, get out some paper, get out a pen, and start writing some options that you have, some things that you can do because it will be your own fault if you
Mhm.
just sit there.
Right.
Even if it hurts, even if it's heavy, you're the only person that can get you up, you know.
Yeah, and I think that like, we're talking about like what victimhood actually like is. Like we had to like define it. I guess victimhood for me would be that belief that the next move belongs to somebody else.
Mm,
Like
yeah.
that somebody somewhere is gonna come here and they're gonna either save me, they're gonna fix this, they're gonna vindicate me, they're gonna, it's why politics are the way they. It's why people are so disappointed in their politicians because they're waiting for Superman. Like
Mhm,
and then they
mhm.
get disappointed
Yeah.
because they realize Superman doesn't exist. And it's not that Superman doesn't exist. Superman is not external. You you were
Mm,
given you were given your own personal Superman. Like we all have it. Like
yeah.
got that piece in us. Like I have a picture on my computer that I created, and it's a lamb standing on a trail, and behind that lamb is a wolf. But the wolf is looking in the same direction as the lamb, not at the lamb. And people look at me and they say, "What does that mean?" And I say, "No, what you need to ask yourself is who is protecting who in this picture." Because that's how I live.
Wait, I'm trying. Okay, so who is
because because sometimes the lamb is the cover for that wolf, because that wolf is necessary. That wolf is what gets you through those hard times, that tells the lamb we're on this dark trail that we can keep going. But
Mhm,
sometimes the lamb needs to look at that wolf and say, hey, we might not need to take that fight. We
yeah,
might not need to, run after that danger. So
mhm,
in that question, you have to ask yourself who is protecting who in this moment. And I put that there to remind myself that, like, sometimes you just got to show up and be the person that the moment requires, whatever that is. And it's not always going to be easy, and it ain't always going to look right. It's
yeah,
going to look like a lamb standing in the woods with a wolf behind him, and you're like, well, why does that wolf look like he wants to eat me and not the lamb? It's like, because that
mhm,
wolf is here for you.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying? That wolf is here to, like, those two go together, and we all
mhm,
have that in us. It's just at any given time we deny those different parts of ourselves. We
mhm,
allow, we don't allow ourselves to have levels, or to
yeah,
have depth, or to have that experience. And that's how
mhm,
your testimony can end up sounding like, it's
yeah.
memorized.
It's on
you know
the same floor, never going up or down. Like
Refuse
it's
to now live in this space. Like you've gotten to a place where you were comfortable, and you've
mhm,
now stopped living. And
yeah,
now all you have is this past success that you had. And
mhm,
those are the people, honestly, the people with the testimony that they can sit there and, like, and stop you in the store and hold you up for
yeah,
hours, are the people who walk out that store feeling the worst sometimes. And I've realized that, like, some of those people with that story are the ones who are struggling the most, because that's all they have. Because they've stopped. They found that comfort,
mhm,
and that comfort ain't comfortable. And they're not necessarily telling you their testimony to help you. They're trying to make sense of themselves at that point, because they're
yes,
trying to find what got them to that testimony.
yes,
They're trying to find that lightning again, and they have lost it, and they're
mhm,
hoping that by telling you over and over this memorized script that they have, that one day
mhm,
they can make that true again. And I feel
yeah,
like for some time, when it starts to sound memorized, like, I tend to look at people, I'm like, do you believe that? And
hmm,
I'm not challenging you to say you're wrong. I just want to truly know, do you believe that? Because if you don't believe what you're saying, and if nobody's ever asked you that, like, don't answer that while you standing in front of me, because that's not my question to answer with you.
right,
Like,
yeah,
but when you go home tonight, ask yourself, do you believe that? Because if you do, stand on that. But if
yeah,
you don't, you need to start moving again and finding what that truly is, so that
mhm,
you can live that, and you have that permission. Like, you were sent here with that permission to grow and to be that. Grow.
mhm, yeah. And it sounds like the part you just mentioned, um, what happened to them becomes their identity, and it's like it's a hamster wheel, or it's a rerun. It just keeps on playing and playing, and they don't know how to get out of it.
Because that was the
Um,
good part. The
like
testimony, like, most of the, like,
oh,
because,
the
like, for
testimony,
the
yeah, yeah,
testimony, like, a lot of, like, and and
mhm,
and even those people who you get on that hamster wheel and they don't know how to get out. Some people just don't know how to get out, just because some people don't want to be out.
right.
So when
They
you're
don't know what
saying,
good
hey, they're
looks
thinking they're a
like.
victim, like, no, that person is very comfortable in this space. You know
Yeah.
why? Because nobody asks me for anything when I'm in this space.
Mm,
We tend to leave people alone who play victim, and people tend to say, okay, cool, nobody expects anything of me in this space. I'm comfortable.
mhm.
So they're not a victim. We just didn't send the elevator back down for that. We
Yeah,
let that person
yeah,
stay down in that space, and that's on me. And those are the questions I
mhm,
ask myself. I'm like, how could I showed up differently in that position to, like,
yeah,
better for that? Because I recognize that that person needed something. Like, I'm the
yeah,
person. stop and talk to homeless people because I'm like, I don't
Mhm.
believe you are out here because you want to be out here. Life is hard.
Right.
Look,
Mhm.
I too, like, there's some, yeah, I have lived some life where I look at him like I could be out here with you, like,
Yeah.
so, stop and recognize that, yeah, you have a part in that. And if the world around me is, you know, suffering from a condition of victimhood, I have a
Mhm.
part in that. And that's partly on me because what
Yes.
am I doing to change those around me so that they don't live like that?
I love
Why am
that.
I still like if I'm walking around saying, "Man, everybody's acting like a victim." Well, why are you still here? Clearly, you haven't gotten there either. Clearly,
Right.
you're still because what you're saying to yourself is, "Why is everybody else off?" Well, that's victimhood in itself too.
Mhm.
It's left, and
Like,
what
"Oh,
you're
I gotta listen to this." Yeah.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
yeah,
that's
it is.
victimhood in that. You know what I'm saying? So like in that, like you really got to stop and say, what? How am I showing up in this moment to make this moment better? Not just for like that person, but for myself.
Mhm.
Want to
Mhm.
hear? Do I need to do to make sure that that person comes in here tomorrow with a better attitude? 'Cause I work with Sally every single day, and Sally is sad or angry
Hey, Sally.
every day. But what have
Uh-huh.
I done to improve Sally's attitude? Did I say hi to Sally this morning? Did I ignore her because oh man, Sally,
Mm.
her attitude is terrible? Well, now I've ignored Sally when Sally just needed a friend today. So now when Sally does catch me in this in the kitchen in the break room, I'm catching
Mhm.
off of Sally's world. When I probably could have nipped this in the bud this morning with a simple good morning. Hey,
Right.
I like your new shoes, Sally. Well, now Sally walking different.
Uh-huh. That's good. Yeah. That makes sense. It's like, um so we're kinda nearing the end of the episode, so I want us to kinda think about solutions, I guess, that we could leave with people, and before kinda going into the solutions, it's like, ah, the it was the just lost my train of thought right at the end, but it's okay, it's okay. So, the journal prompts. That's what it was. Thank you, Alba. The journal prompts where it's like, if you feel like right now that you are in a victim state, the question that I would have for you to journal on, who would you be if that thing did not happen to you? I think that would be a beautiful, reflective, journaling prompt because that could be something as you're writing, the Most High can give you a vision of because some people may not know what it looks like to not have that thing happen to them. So it's like victimhood became their life. So that's one. And then the other thing, like what Brother George has been saying all night, is the whole of what are you doing to help somebody else to come out of victimhood? What are you doing to help Sister Sally in the break room? Um, how are you sending the elevator down? So that's a journal prompt for those of you who are, hopefully in a better state and you can't help somebody else. So those were two journal prompts I wanted to kind of end with. But Brother George, what is like you said so much tonight, and it's like amazing. I love it. I love it. What would you say? What advice nuggets that you would give either side, side that you want to speak to, the victims, or those who have come out of victimhood, like advice that you would leave with them or leave to them.
So there's a few. For one, I love the journal. I love I love that part of it, especially because in my business, when I meet a client, I oftentimes tell them we need to do discovery before we build.
Mm, mhm,
Because if I don't, and for me, like especially in my world, because I build systems, web systems, and other things. For me, a lot of times, like people are like, "Oh, I worked with this person, and they came in and they built me something, and it doesn't work for me." I'm like, because they didn't know you. They didn't discover before they built. And I think that journal is important because it gives a person time to discover themselves. Like,
Mhm.
before I can be a person who can walk in here and tell you why something hurts, I need to know that something hurts.
Mhm.
Because
Right.
because not only the human body but the human mind is very good at compensating.
Yep.
So you will walk around thinking that that's why people can fall into, alcoholism and drug use, because you think that is healing you, and it's just masking the other symptoms.
Exactly.
you know
Yep.
and so I think that stopping for one and having that discovery is important, and then to be be lenient with yourself and to realize that this is a lifelong work. Like,
Mhm.
you're not going to wake up tomorrow and this is going to be better. you know you know but it starts with waking up and speaking up and refusing to absorb the world that you're given and to emit the world that you want. Like,
Mhm.
once you wake up and you say, this is the world I want to live in, the world starts to magically move like that. I
Yeah.
know it sounds
Yeah.
fantastic, but things come to you when you attract that. That doesn't mean everything's going to be good, everything's going to feel good.
Yeah.
But if you wake up and you accept a space and a frame that is not what you want, that space and frame will stay with you.
Yeah.
And I think that those two things, yeah, that discovery, which, yeah, the prompts and the journal writing, I think that's amazing. But yeah, be understanding that this is not over. You
Mhm.
will
Mhm.
you will die learning these same lessons, and
Yeah.
hopefully you have learned enough that you have been able to pass somebody, because we're all just rolling a ball up the hill.
Yep.
And
Yep.
and either I'm gonna stop moving and this ball gonna roll back on top of me, or I'm gonna keep moving, and then when it start to fall and I fall down, there's somebody else to push it, put a little
Right.
dirt over me, you know, pat my face and cry over me, and then start pushing that ball, because that ball still need to move up this hill.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I love it. I love it. That's awesome. And thank you for that advice. I have nothing to add to that. My journal prompts are the advice, 'cause it's
That's so
just
awesome.
reflect on where you are. Like that
Mhm.
that's my ending thing for this episode. Reflect on where you are. Um, are you still in victimhood? And if you've come out, how are you helping others? Not basically stole from you, Brother George. So, so um let's see. So as we're wrapping up, we want to thank everyone for tuning in to this episode. We want to thank Brother George for coming on and joining us. And I wanted to leave you all with some information on how you can find Brother George. Let's see. So what he does and where to find him. And I'm guessing you can look this up on the websites, but his company SoloMesh, and the Smart AI employee business product for Lifey, the website, and I'll also put this in the comment section of where the video, this episode will be posted, but it's smartaiemployee.com. So that's where you all can look that up. Tutorials and content. Ooh, me, I need to say this. Tutorials and content for smart AI tutorials on YouTube. So you would just, I'm guessing
And so if you
the
go to so if you go to YouTube right now, so that's a private channel. So I only allow the people in who I either work with, or who tell
okay,
me they have a need. Um,
okay.
and that comes down to two, like the internet is the internet, so
Yeah,
somebody got something to say. I'm like,
yeah,
cool, this ain't your space, but I
right,
only want you in this space if you're going to be collaborative in this space.
okay,
So my videos you won't just find me out there. Like, you got to find me to
okay.
find me.
You're classy. Look, you're classy. You're an elite person. So it's like, yeah. No, but I get it. I get it. But email. Wait, okay. George at georgecroom.com.
Own your own name.
Yeah, I
On your
love
name, on your frame, that's me.
and again, he is based in Baltimore, Maryland, and Los Angeles. So, again, thank you, George. Thank you, George, for coming on and sharing. And like I said, this episode, wherever it is posted, I will have all that information where you all can reach out to George with questions, things like that. Just like from our previous episode, where, if you all have those questions, if something that myself or George has said during this episode spoke to you and you want to reach out with comments or questions, just he gave his email. You all also have Eating Moment Ministry at gmail.com where you can send questions. And of course, there's a comment section. So we want to hear from you all. So God bless and thank you all for tuning in.